another episode of Heavy Metal Bible. Basically, Heavy Metal Bible meaning that I'm going to sit there and I'm going to run down my favorite classic heavy metal albums. We're going to go over them track by track at times, argue best drummers. Maybe this is the band that we like. Say it's Motorhead, and well, we only like the early Motorhead. We don't like anything. We don't like Another Perfect Day. That's really where this is kind of going to go. Just simply BSing back and forth, me BSing to you through the wonderful, wonderful technology of YouTube and the flip camera. What a joy. Okay, so this episode, number 2, is going to start out with one of my favorite bands of all time, easily. I'm wearing the shirt, not by any, I just happened to put this on today, by the way, and it kind of maybe steered me in the direction of doing the very first Bathory album. Now, I am not lying when I tell you, I actually got this album when it came out, right here in St. Paul, Minnesota. I picked it up at an old record shop on University Avenue called Northern Lights. You could go there and you could literally get anything. There was a metal section. It was fantastic. You could go there and pull out stuff like this. Now, I got this album, and I cannot lie. When I first got it, it was so over the top. The production was so crazy. I had never heard nothing about it, nothing like it before, other than, of course, I was a fan of Venom. And then later, Hellhammer. All of this stuff, the cornerstone of what later would become, you know, Swedish death metal, black metal, Nordic metal, whatever the hell you want to call it, all these titles. But this one, it first came out, the song that really pulled me in was Raise the Dead. With the simple, almost Black Sabbath type intro with the bell tolling, you'd think they lifted it right off of there. But just the slow, crunchy chew of it. At first it was overwhelming. I actually didn't enjoy it that much, but then I kept going back to it and putting it on and loving the rawness of it. Now, I had one of the first releases. Did I have the yellow goat? Did I have the white goat? Oh, the controversy goes on. I do not know, but I know that I had the lyric sheet, which was simply an 8x10 piece of white typewriter paper with the lyrics written on there, and then there was the symbol of the, you know, the claw holding the candle that is on that album. Just looking at it, puzzled, what do these guys look like? The only picture really that was out there of Korthon at the time was the one where he's in the pentagram. Everyone knows that that's a fan of metal and black metal. It's the photo that is probably the most seen of Bathory, is Korthon in the center of the pentagram. And it was just, it pulled you in. And what was crazy is I was thinking about what to say about this album, and trying not to delve over into other bands and sticking straight on Bathory, because that's my intention with each one of these, to be as informative and as much gossip, whatever I can say about that album in particular. I did own this album a second time as well, and I don't know if that was the yellow or the white goat. I'd like to think that I had one of the earliest ones. I know the very first one I did, that's my best chance. And I had that second one that I had picked up years later, early 1990s, not realizing that this is a treasure. I had it tacked to a wall, and of course my room caught fire, and that thing burned up with it, along with Hellhammer. Bathory later, when they released the second album, that's my favorite album of Bathory's, hands down. The Return, oh, that is going to be its own episode within its own. But if we can listen for a second, if you can hear this, hopefully. Listening to it now, all these years later, we're talking, geez, I want to say this came out in '84, and that's when I had it the first time. It still stands up. Now, you're going to probably hear me say that about every band I talk about, but that's why I'm talking about these bands. That's what's so important for me to try to get across, because at the time, you know, I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota. It's nothing more than just a little strip mall, literally. Tumbleweeds blowing down the road. Now, a lot of people go, oh, have you ever been to the Twin Cities? It's not a city. This place is so freaking tiny. But anyway, you're talking 1984. I'm listening to this just by going out and finding it, not knowing nothing about it. I never had read anything about Bathory. You'd go to the record store almost constantly, literally. You'd go 3 times a week, easily, if not 5. I'd take the city bus there, and there were always new releases. It's not like today where I can go to the only record shop that exists here in Minnesota. Well, there's a few, but the one near me, the closest, there's hardly any. Let's face it, it's gone. The era's done. And if I go there, I'm lucky if they even have any metal. Even though they have a metal section, they don't pull anything in. I've yet to go into Down in the Valley, though. That's where I should probably be going. Getting back to this first release, what can be said? I mean, I think it shaped what would later become black metal, and along with Venom, Hellhammer, Bathory, Cornerstone, and let's not even call them black metal, whatever that they are now legends, of course. At the time, it was just stuff we bought and brought home. And nowadays, you know, kids, they go and they read about these bands and they're built up to such, which they deserve, let's face it, because the stuff has stood the test of time. It's about songs. You hear that all the way across from something by the Beatles to Bathory. It's about the songs. This band would not have this type of epic piece in metal history if it wasn't for good songs. Listen, I mean, that makes you grit your teeth. Yeah, hell yeah. And that's what you love about metal, right? That's what I love about it. It comes from the inner soul. It helps you through anything. You can go out and you can get up in the day. Keep fighting, keep banging. Metal Mike, first Bathory album. It's in my all-time classics. If you don't have it, which everyone's got to have this, right? If you're a metal fan, you need this. Don't go out and buy all this wannabe. This is the real deal. This stuff is awesome. It's sad that Corthon's gone too. Just a legend. And he will just continue to build. His music will live forever though. Right? Metal for life. Metal Mike! And I'll clap my hands together, what, for an 8th time? No, which one is this? Sacrifice. Just chewing it up.